For the 2006 Doctor Who story, see Love and Monsters, Doctor Who. Love and Monsters. Love and Monsters poster. JPEG. Theatrical release poster. Directed by Michael Matthews. Screenplay by Brian Duffield. Matthew Robinson. Story by Brian Duffield. Produced by Sean Levy. Dan Cohen. Starring Dylan O'Brien. Jessica Henwick. Dan Ewing. Michael Rooker. Cinematography Lachlan Milne. Edited by Debbie Berman. Nancy Richardson. Music by Marco Beltrami. Marcus Trump. Production companies: 21 Laps Entertainment. Entertainment One. Distributed by Paramount Pictures, United States. Netflix, International, 2. Release date October 16, 2020. Running time 109 minutes. Country United States. Language English. Budget $30 million, 3. Box office $1.1 million, 4. Love and Monsters is a 2020 American post-apocalyptic monster adventure film directed by Michael Matthews, with Sean Levy and Dan Cohen serving as producers. The film stars Dylan O'Brien, Jessica Henwick, Dan Ewing, Michael Rooker, and Ariana Greenblatt. Development began in 2012 as Monster Problems. The project lingered for several years until October 2018 when O'Brien and then Matthews joined the film. The rest of the cast joined over the next few months, and filming took place in Australia from March to May 2019. Love and Monsters was originally going to receive a wide theatrical release by Paramount Pictures in March 2020. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the studio opted to release the film digitally via video on demand, and in select theaters. On October 16, 2020, the film's international release was handled by Netflix, which released the film on its service on April 14, 2021. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and was nominated for Best Visual Effects at the 93rd Academy Awards. The destruction of an asteroid headed for Earth releases chemical fallout, causing cold-blooded animals to mutate into large monsters and kill off most of humanity. During the evacuation of Fairfield, Joel Dawson is separated from his girlfriend Amy but promises to find her, shortly before his parents are killed by monsters. 7 years later, Joel lives in one of many bunkers underground called colonies, where all other survivors have romantically paired up while fighting monsters and seeking supplies. Joel instead is left behind in the kitchen, as he freezes in dangerous situations. When a giant ant breaches his colony, killing one of the survivors, Joel sets off on a quest to reunite with Amy so he doesn't end up alone. Passing through the suburbs, Joel is attacked by a giant toad monster but is saved by a stray dog named Boy, who follows Joel on his journey, warning him against poisonous berries and other dangers. Joel falls into a nest of worm monsters called sand gobblers, when 2 survivors, Clyde Dutton and Minnow, rescue him. They are heading north to the mountains, where fewer monsters live due to the colder weather and higher elevation. They teach Joel some basic survival skills, and that not all monsters are hostile, demonstrating how you can always tell in their eyes. They invite Joel to join them, but he insists he must find Amy. As they part ways, Clyde gives Joel a grenade. Continuing west, Boy becomes trapped by a giant centipede monster. Joel freezes, but eventually saves Boy with his crossbow. Sheltering in an abandoned motel, they meet a robot named Mav-1S. Before her battery dies, Mav-1S powers his radio long enough to briefly contact Amy. Other survivors have reached her colony, promising to lead them to safety. The next day Joel and Boy are attacked by a queen sand gobbler. They hide, but Boy barks, giving away their position. Joel kills the queen with the grenade, and yells at Boy for putting them in danger, causing Boy to run away. After swimming across a pond, Joel is covered in poisonous leeches and hallucinates, but is rescued before he collapses. Joel wakes to finally see Amy. She leads a beach colony of elderly survivors who depend on her. He is introduced to the survivors, as well as Brooks, Cap Wilkinson, a ship captain, and his crew. As everyone celebrates their imminent departure, Amy confesses she is glad to see Joel, but has become a different person and is still mourning someone she was in love with. Joel decides to return to his colony, contacting them on the radio and learning that it has become unsafe and that they too must leave. Cap sends Joel some berries, which he recognizes as poisonous. Realizing Cap is not to be trusted, he rushes to warn Amy but is knocked unconscious. Joel, Amy, and the rest of her colony awaken tied up on the beach. Cap reveals that his group is going to raid the colony, and that their yacht is towed by a crab monster controlled with an electrified chain. Cap sets the crab to feed on the colonists, but Joel and Amy escape and are able to fight for their lives, and Boy returns to help. After a lengthy battle, Joel has the opportunity to shoot the crab, but he realizes it is not hostile by looking into its eyes. Joel instead shoots the electrified chain, freeing the crab, who leaves Joel unharmed and instead sinks the yacht, devouring Cap and his crew. Joel recommends Amy and her colony head north. They share a goodbye kiss, and Amy promises she will find him. Joel treks all the way back to his colony, and they too decide to head to the mountains. On the radio, Joel inspires other colonies to take to the surface. As the colonies head north, Clyde and Minnow, already in the mountains, wonder if Joel will survive the next journey. In its debut weekend, Love and Monsters was the #1 most rented film on Fandango Now and Apple TV. The film also played in 387 theaters alongside its VOD release, and grossed $255,000 in its opening weekend. In its second weekend, the film finished second at Apple TV, third at Fandango, and 8th at Spectrum, then placed second at Spectrum, 5th at Fandango, and 7th at Google in its third weekend. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 94% based on 112 reviews, with an average rating of July 3, 10. The website's critics' consensus reads, led by a charming star turn from Dylan O'Brien, Love and Monsters peers into the apocalypse and finds an action-adventure with surprising emotional depth. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 63 out of 100, based on reviews from 14 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Jessica King of Variety called it a fun if forgettable family-friendly adventure comedy set in a monsterpocalypse and a silly but satisfying hero's journey entirely unencumbered by importance. King notes that the film is based on an original script but feels familiar as if it was adapted from existing material because it fits into the coming-of-age genre and references various other films such as I Am Legend, A Boy and His Dog, Zombieland, Tremors, and Stand By Me. John DeFore of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, "The movie's last act offers complications both expected and surprising. For the most part, it satisfies, especially in what proves to be the pic's most elaborate action sequence." IndieWire's David Ehrlich wrote, "Love and Monsters is the rarest kind of movie these days, a fun, imaginative, genre-mashing adventure that was made with a modest amount of big studio money."